Okay guys, so thank you so much for coming and welcome to the final episode of Nurse Diaries Women's Health Project 2024. So I am joined by these lovely ladies and I just want you to all explain yourself and just say who you are.
So hi guys, my name is Frances. I'm a gynae and early pregnancy nurse.
Hi, my name is Ria. I'm the founder of ReFitness. I coach women online for PCOS and I'm also a PCOS fighter.
Hello guys, my name is Simpiwe and I'm a contraception and sexual health nurse consultant. I'm also the founder of Black Nurses and Midwives.
Okay, cool. So going back to the previous videos, so everybody had an individual video that they created speaking about a specific condition or an awareness that they wanted to present. So I just want you to explain if do you think that women have a true understanding of these problems that you've discussed, and do you also believe that they are aware of problems that actually can happen to their body? As personally, in my opinion, I believe that women know that they have their periods, etc., but there's just so much that they are still to know about their body, if that makes sense. So yeah, in regards to the topic you've spoken about, do you think that this is something that women are aware of, or do you think that's something that they're not aware of until they're actually diagnosed with a condition?
So I think in terms of contraception, so obviously women know that contraception exists and they know that there are various methods, but I think sometimes they don't know the various methods or how they work, or sometimes they might have heard of different methods but not necessarily tried them, or have heard negative stories around sort of particular methods, or there are misconceptions around different methods. So I think it's important to definitely equip people with the right information and remembering that you may try something and it may not suit you, and it's absolutely fine to change it as well. So that would be the key thing that I would say.
I feel there's not enough awareness about it as much as women with PCOS would like. I feel personally when I got diagnosed, I didn't know about it, and then after the diagnosis I had to go and do my own research in terms of how to help my body, like regulate my periods, lose weight and reduce the other symptoms I was having. I think it is becoming more aware, but it definitely needs to be spoken about a lot more. And in terms with the medicals, like the doctors, sometimes they need to be a bit more informed about how women can help themselves. Because I was just told to just lose weight, but I wasn't told how to lose weight. We got to eat the certain foods to regulate our periods and reduce the weight and reduce the hair, the facial hair as well. So I think it's becoming more aware, but there needs to be more awareness, especially in the medical field as well, to help women when they are being diagnosed.
For my topic, which was ectopic pregnancies, I don't think that women really know enough. I don't think they know the symptoms enough of an ectopic pregnancy, and I feel like because of this a lot of women have a lot of ruptured ectopics and they end up losing their tube, which has an effect for further pregnancies or even trying to get pregnant. So I feel like that women need to be educated more on the symptoms of having an ectopic, and I think this needs to be done when they are actually told they're pregnant, or their first consultation with their midwife, or when they register their pregnancy or anything like that. They need to be told the symptoms of an ectopic, so that if they have these symptoms they know to go straight to their GP or call an ambulance straight away in order to get this checked out, so that they don't have further problems in the future, really.
I was just going to add, actually, in terms of, what Ria was talking about in terms of medical conditions, often we use contraception as well to, treat certain symptoms, especially like heavy menstrual bleeding. With PCOS, we treat it to regulate periods, and you might not want to go down the contraception path, or you may, and I think it's important to really have those conversations with your doctor, or even if you're seeing a nurse, having those conversations and be honest about what you're willing to try. And I think sometimes women don't feel like they can say they don't want to go on a hormonal method because sometimes that's pushed. But remember, you know your body the best, and you should advocate for what you're willing to try and what is better for you.
That's so true. That's really good.
Because doctors don't really offer the
conservative.
Exactly, they don't offer conservative management, or they don't offer a non-hormonal contraception, they just say this is what we recommend. Like it's like you have to take it, or if you don't, that's on you. So I feel like as women we really have to kind of like advocate for ourselves and be like, oh, but is there another option? Otherwise we will never know.
So the reason why I came today to speak about my topic PCOS is because I'm very passionate about it. Although I am a person living with it, a woman living with it, I am very much passionate about helping women who have it, and just putting it out there that there is, you know, some form of treatments that you can have, that you can do to help you manage it every day, in terms of like your eating, and even just meeting other women who have it to learn about PCOS a bit more. I feel like it does need to get spoken about a bit more as well, and that's why I just am an advocate. And I feel like because sometimes our conditions are quite hidden, always able to see what someone's going through when they have PCOS, so we can be a bit like not heard, we're not really heard. So I just remember at work, you know, suffering with PCOS with my irregular periods, and I felt I wasn't able to talk about it. And then when I did speak about it, that's when I actually did get the diagnosis, because I was able to say to my colleague, look, this is what I'm having. And she was like, oh, that doesn't sound right. That sounds like PCOS. I think you should go and get that checked out. And that's when I got the diagnosis. It was not as easy as that, but it did take 3 attempts to see my doctor and then get diagnosed. So I just feel like sometimes we need to speak about these things because they are going on, and women with PCOS, there is no cure for PCOS. So just having healthy conversations about how women can continue their lives with it, and there is a way to live with it, because I know it can be very hard and it's a struggle, but there is ways that you can manage it.
Okay, I really like that.
That's all right.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's really good.
I came today is to raise awareness around contraceptions, just because it's my bread and butter, is what I work in, but I'm also passionate about sort of, you know, people knowing the right information, and just being able to advocate for themselves when it comes to contraception. So a bit like I said earlier, you know, sometimes we're encouraged to use certain methods, but you may not want to. But remember that you can try things, and generally we advise trying it for at least 3 months, and then if it doesn't suit you, you can always come off. Like, you're not confined to using it, but it's important that you try it. If your mum's been on it and had a bad time, doesn't mean that you'll have a bad time, basically.
I came to talk about ectopic pregnancies due to the increase I have seen personally as a nurse of ectopic pregnancies. Women ignore the symptoms and they think it's just symptoms of early pregnancy. However, actually, they are actually symptoms of ectopic pregnancies, and I have seen a lot of cases where if they had raised their symptoms with us earlier, we could have done something in order to stop them having their tube removed or anything like that, or for it to even rupture, because there's been so many cases nowadays of ruptured ectopics. When it comes to ectopic pregnancies, what people don't realise is that when a woman is diagnosed with an ectopic pregnancy, it's a miscarriage. They are losing a baby at the end of the day. And I feel like, just like how you treat anyone losing a baby, we have to give them that type of support, because they need to grieve, they're going to be sad. And I feel like a lot of people don't remember that when diagnosing an ectopic pregnancy. And I feel like when someone is diagnosed with an ectopic pregnancy, it is life-changing, because depending on the situation and depending how they've managed an ectopic pregnancy, for example, if they go through the surgical route, they are losing a tube, and the chances of them being pregnant for the following pregnancy is a bit lower, and it's even harder to get pregnant, and they're even at more risk of having another ectopic pregnancy. So it's not even just a thing where, oh yeah, you've been diagnosed with an ectopic pregnancy. There are following complications to that diagnosis, and I feel like that on its own is mentally a lot for any woman to go through. So I feel like as a nurse we also have to remember to provide support for them.
PCOS, There's so much mental side that comes into play with it. PCOS is the leading cause of infertility, and that itself is just a struggle. So for a lot of women, they might have to have IVF, and sometimes that's a lot of failed IVF. Itself is like a bereavement, you know. It's very draining, it's very upsetting, to keep trying and wanting something and you feel like it's not going to happen. And when we are diagnosed with PCOS, we are told by the doctors, you know, because I know from my experience, and a lot of other women have said when they got diagnosed, it's simply like you need to lose weight, and it might mean that you can't have children, or you might find it difficult to have children. So you're just kind of left with like, what am I meant to do? And then when you do want children and it's not happening, it can be very frustrating, very upsetting, very confusing, especially if you're trying to lose weight or you're eating right and still you're not having periods or you're not ovulating. It can be very distressing, and still having to go to work as well. And then there's anxiety, a lot of anxiety around the physical symptoms that we have, like the facial hair. You know, for me, I didn't want to go out sometimes, and with the weight that is not shifting, it's around my stomach area. I just felt like I didn't want to go out, I didn't want to get ready, I didn't want to dress up, I didn't want to see my friends. So there's a lot of anxiety, social anxiety, the fatigue, you can feel drained, you feel like at work you're not able to concentrate. So there is a lot of mental health that comes into play. And I just think as well, sometimes we feel isolated, so we might not talk about it as well. And insomnia, so we're not sleeping better. So all of it is mental health related as well, not just the physical sides.
I think in terms of contraception, you know, a lot of people are starting to share around sort of their impact on their mental health. So we know that contraception can definitely have an impact on how people are feeling. You know, people can feel quite low in mood. And I think it's important that we are starting to talk about it. I think before, sometimes women felt gaslit or dismissed when they go to a professional talking about their concerns. I'm not saying it's great at the moment. You know, it is improving in terms of, you know, when you go and see somebody to discuss your concerns, but you still, if you're finding that professional is not listening to you, then you need to ask for a second opinion or seeing somebody else. But we know that it can impact you, and changing sometimes to a different method can be helpful, but not always. But just know that you can change and you can come off that particular method. And if you feel different on a method, then it doesn't necessarily mean that the other method you go on will make you feel exactly the same. So I think sometimes with contraception, unfortunately, you have to try a few types to see what suits you. So what I think about the women's health strategy is, I think it's good that they're highlighting key objectives and that need to be sort of delivered to meet women and those that may not identify as women's needs. I think it's important that when we look at like health equity, we're really ensuring culturally sensitive care, because I think that's pertinent to the strategy, especially to meet needs of Black and ethnic minority women. I think having the women health hubs is important, but I think it's important to also work with grassroots organizations who are already working with women of color to ensure that they better engage with the health system, because I think having a one-stop shop only is not enough to ensure that Black and ethnic minority women are attending. So I think those grassroots organizations are going to be essential for us to engage those women in those services too.
What I think about the women's health strategy, I think is needed. And my thing is, I just don't know how much funding is going to be involved in this. I would like it because it's so necessary, but are the government going to continue to fund it? Because it's necessary, and I'm not sure if that, I don't know, but we'll see. But yes, my thing is, I just hope it does continue to get funded and pushed out there more for women to access. I also feel like a lot of the conditions that women have, like the fibroids and PCOS, a lot of it is based on nutrition as well. So I would prefer if they also didn't have just doctors and nurses on board, if they had nutritionists as well, so they can advise us about certain foods that we need to be eating. Yeah. And with the nutritionists, I feel they should be culturally aware and be able to advise us about the foods that we eat in our culture, but in a healthy way to eat it, just so they have a bit more awareness, so they can support women from other cultures.
So what I think about the women's health strategy is that, well, I only found out about it today, and I feel like I'm one of many women who really didn't know that there was a strategy being put forward by our government to help us with our health. And I feel like there needs to be more awareness about this strategy to other women, for them to know that there's actually going to be things put in place for them to get help for their health. And I feel like I was talking to Ria before, a lot of women don't know that there are actually, like, the early pregnancy unit, they are there for women that need help, that for women that are having bleeding or anything concerning during the early pregnancy, we are here to actually help. And I feel like there's not enough awareness, because some women don't even know that there is an early pregnancy unit. Some women don't even know there's a gynae assessment unit. They have to go through something in order to now know, oh, there's actually somewhere that I can actually go for help. Whereas, like, for example, if you do have a condition, you need to be told, okay, so if you have any of the following, there is somewhere for you to go if you need further help, basically.
Thank you everybody for coming, for joining. Thank you to those that came in person to the studio, and for those that helped and joined online as well. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching and hearing each and every individual one's story. And yeah, so this is bye from us from the studio. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe.
Bye.
You want to start first?
Thank God for editing.
Honestly.
Sorry, I was looking at you.
There's no
cure.
Yeah.
There's no cure.